our guest speaker for tonight.
Thank you, Steffi, so much for that introduction. Everyone, good evening once again, and welcome back to our Axie Infinity Bootcamp. And for tonight, we actually have a really, really good guest with Elmomomo as part of the YGG Elite. And I'm actually really excited for all the things that he is about to share to us tonight. And I really know that we are going to learn a lot from tonight's stream. Elmomo, I'm actually going to ask you something. Maybe something more personal on the start rather than jump to the Axie right away. Maybe you can tell us the background of your IGN and yeah, share us why you chose El Mo Mo Mo. Three mo's.
All right. So actually previously I was using a IGN of using my real name. My name is actually called Rayner. So Rayner. So I was using it on Twitch, and just some of my real friends were saying that you can be easily doxxed in the world and stuff. So I was like thinking, all right, maybe it's time for me to change username. So I actually love my dog a lot. So my dog is actually called Elmo, and his surname, like his nickname, is called Momo. So I just decided to mix the two names together. So that's how I came around having the name Elmomo. And it's also one of the reasons why I do not mind having that name, is because I felt like he's the only pet that I have, and it's something that is, I would say, very close to me. So in some sense, I would like to idolize him before it's like so called too late for him.
Mm, that's
Yeah.
actually one way to pay a tribute to your pet. And actually you
Yeah.
are leaving a lot of legacy right now. Being part of the Las Vegas tournament is really one of the big stuffs that's going to maintain on your legacy as an Axie player. And may you share us your thoughts or your just how you feel when you already qualified for the Las Vegas qualifiers.
So I actually played a 5 game series against Atello from Super Wales. Game one was a pretty I mean, the whole series was really very tight. Like it was literally 1 game each all the way until game five. So in game five, actually, I kind of was pretty unfavored. If I mean, I do have to replay. I mean, maybe that's one of the replays we can take a look later.
Alright.
But yeah, I was pretty unfavored because I was playing Reflectile into Hatsune Plan. But I've played that matchup like a few times, and I know that it's not a complete lose. Like maybe when the start of the game, like just the Axis itself without the card draws, the lineup varies from 35% to like 65%. Yeah, so it's something. It was an uphill battle for sure, but did not want to give up, and it's so important that it's just 1 game away to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
So like when the screen loaded, like when I knew the Axis, like people like in the background that were cheering for me, they were like, "Oh, this is so unfavorite for you." But in my head, I was like saying, "Come on, guys, it's not a lose till we see the defeat
Yeah.
screen, right?"
Yeah.
So yeah,
Actually, that was the one of the mental things that's happening on Axie Infinity. When you see that your opponents actually have the upper hand against your lineup, some of the players are actually already crying for despair. They actually already give up. But it's one of the good characteristics as a pro player to not give up until you see the defeat screen, right?
yep.
And yeah, and I think you really played it well, and I'm really excited to see that replay as well. And actually, it was really funny because you were facing a super whale guy and you faced the super whale guy also in
Ah, yeah.
YMC. I think it's a double whammy. It's a double whammy for you guys.
So the whole week of that week, I was playing, I think, probably 5 competitions, and out of all the 5 competitions, maybe 4 of them I met into Super Whales. So it was really like fighting against the whole entire Super Whales the whole weekend.
It's Elmomo versus the super whales. All right. I have another question actually before we start with the program proper. Maybe you can also share to us how you started with Axie. What made you have interest in playing Axie? Was it because of the hype of the play to earn, or was it really just the game and how you play it? And maybe aside from that, do you have any other card game background, something similar to Axie that you can share? Right?
Okay, so I came from Dota. I played Dota for like a good 13 years. Um, didn't go. I was so called like a semi-pro, but wasn't a real pro. I wasn't like playing in like tier 3 teams or any tier 1 or tier 2 teams. We were more like just like a casual, but trying to play at a high level as well. So when Axie came out, my financial background wasn't really very stable at that point of time. So I was thinking like, hey, this game one day gives me about 30 to 40 USD, and all I need to do is just, you know, play some cards and like, in a sense, that play a game and earn, right? Like the past 13 years when I've been playing Dota, I've not earned a single cent. In fact, all the money that I've earned has been spent on companions and stuff, like buying the better
Yeah.
pass levels and stuff. So like I decided to jump into Axie, and I was lucky enough to actually have a high school friend that was actually a professional breeder in Axie at that point of time. And I asked them whether are they interested to take me as a scholar back then. So I actually started out my Axie journey in season 18. I was playing a cute bunny team, like, you know, just a
Mm,
standard without the antenna. So it was really like it was kind of a chop suey team. Like people would call it a chop suey team because I do not have like specific like cut set
parts. Yeah.
that are all like pure or something. Like I remember my backliner was very weird. I have like gravel N, I had Skitty Spoon, I had Buzz and Piranha. So it's like really very different. So even with a chop suey team back then in season 18, I did climb to 3K.
Ooh.
In fact, yeah. In fact, with the start of my scholarship within the 2 weeks, I actually reached like maybe 2.2, 2.3. So I was actually picking up the game very quickly, knowing how the mechanic works, knowing which cards were melee, knowing which cards were range, with much like, because I was playing 60 energy a day, right?
Yeah.
So that was really what actually made me like the game more. Initially, when I was playing as a scholar, I was like, telling myself like it's more of a chore than I enjoy the game, because like if I don't complete the 60 energy, they're gonna ask me like, hey, what's going on, you know, like why you not playing, you know? So there were a lot of motivation factor in the scholarship, in a such sense that if you hit a certain average SLP a day, you get a higher payout. So that also actually kind of pushed me to become a better player in some sense. So moving forward from season 18 to season 19, I actually left my scholarship because I wanted to make a name in for myself in season 19. Season 19 was really like a season for me to venture on my own, have an investor but a non-known investor, not taking any profits, only taking 10% of my tournament winnings if I ever win a tournament. So SLP were mine, just that the tournament winnings were his, like for 10%. So he actually gave me I would say 2 or 3 very meta teams, but not not super pay to win, to the point that it's like if you guys were here at season 19, you know about the spam and rise comp, the backdoor and stuff. Yeah, so actually I was not lucky enough to have those teams whereby you just draw the cards, you click a few buttons, everybody just die. So I
Basically,
was,
brain dead lineups.
yes, yes. So what we call play to win, right? So
Yeah.
I was kind of playing like Shrimp Mech, but and I was also playing like Indes Com as well. So it was more of swapping it up, and needs to use more of my mechanics and understanding and card counting in the game, rather than just like having a specific team that is, if I draw it, I just go. If I don't, then I just go to the next game.
Yeah.
Because games with that team were very fast, right? So if you lose fast, you win fast as well. But for the other teams that I was playing, um, it was just really more of like fundamentals and like knowing where you stand and knowing how you should play. So even with those teams, I picked at 3618, and I ended off the season at top 300.
That was
Yep.
really good. It was a really good opportunity for you, I have to say. You started as scholar and you were immediately at 60 energy. Is it something that you requested, or is it something that your manager just gave it to you since you had the potential and you showed up right after they gave you a lineup?
So after they gave me a lineup, actually my lineup was more of chosen by other people. So it's they paid someone to build a team within a budget, and then the team is presented to me, and in some ways said that I should be playing it this way, and what's the mechanics of this team. So I kind of picked. I was kind of hard stuck at maybe 1004 to 1007 for like a good 3 days, but after when I breached the 1004 2007, I just skyrocketed to like 2000 plus, like no, like doesn't even have like any boundaries. Yeah, so actually I took season 19 to really try my best to like participate in competitions, to actually really go and put the name out for myself. So I was really grinding very hard, constantly being in leaderboards and like trying to make connections with people. I think that's really where landed me in YGG today. If it's not for connections and if it's not
Yeah.
for competition, I don't believe that's where I would be as well. Like who will know me, and like who will even think about, hey, this guy with this Elmomo name will make it big, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
right
it
now you are actually competing for Las Vegas, and actually not really familiar with the event. What's the cash pool for the entire tournament for the Las Vegas? Because I think you guys had several qualifiers aside from the one you participated with, right?
Yeah,
So
so
what's
there's
the cash pool?
yeah, so there are four qualifiers. The first one where Gabby got second place. So that qualifier itself is each qualifier worth 3.7k USDT. So the first place brings home 1005, the second place brings home 750, and subsequent so on and so forth. And only the top two in the 512 pool will gets to go to Las Vegas. And in Vegas, we'll be competing for a prize pool of 30k.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's neat. And everything, all expense paid, right? Or
yeah,
do you pay for
correct.
your own money?
I think probably maybe YGG. I'm not very sure, but yeah, but for what I know, tickets are all sponsored. Accommodation should be as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
YGG?
Yeah,
YGG
YGG.
Elmo?
YGG represent.
Yeah, but yeah, I think given the track record of our guild, I think I'm not gonna promise anything, but I think that we are going to be on the positive side of things. And
Yeah.
yeah, I actually do agree with you as well. I was really a long time Dota player as well, and instead of earning money from it, I only spend more money on the cosmetics and such. And having games right now transform into something that you can actually earn for by being a really competitive player, it's actually so much for you have shared right now. And maybe we can already proceed in sharing your axes, your lineup, and maybe we can play some arena games for tonight as well.
All right. So okay, so moving on to the lineups that I have a lot of teams. If you actually want to take a look, I do. I actually have like 40 axes, like 44. But teams that I've been playing are pretty much in the ladders. If you actually take a look in my match histories, are actually the Reflectiles, and actually playing a bit of Shrimp Mech as well. So I have a launch team that is actually quite unique, I would say, but I do not really like to play it because this face a lot of gravel end, and as if you take a look at my backliner, it has three melee cards, and my mid liner has three melee cards, and like my front liner has three melee cards. So my team is actually very subtle to gravel end, and apart from that, I guess my this team, as long as I don't face gravel end, I actually do have a lot of chance of winning most matchups in the game. Yep. So this is one of the teams I play pretty often, and the other team that I actually use to climb now is actually this team. So this team, there's actually two variants to it. Some people like to play it with the plant, like this exact plant that I have, because so reason why they want to play this plant is because if you realize that this reptile at the back is actually 39 speed, right? So if you take a look at this card called Kataro, gain one energy if target is faster than this Axie. So why people do not want to actually use this pay to win dust, right? Is because if the players do get a decent card draw off your three Bug Beast damage cards onto their cattail and they draw like double Kataro, they actually can steamroll your whole entire team that you're playing. So it's actually quite RNG based more than I would say um better results in the long run. That's why some people actually prefer playing the plant so that the Kataro value can only come out from your mid liner. And there's also another so-called mid liner that people can actually get for the mid line that actually has a better chance in fighting other lineups. It would be the hold on Nemo Acroscara. Yeah, hold on. All right. So let me first show you the first variations from this. So this is actually the most like so-called standard where people go the scarab in the middle, the piranha, the acro, and the nemo. But I personally am a person and have a very different playstyle from different people. I like to explode things. I don't like games that goes to round 8, round 9, or even Blood Moon. So I actually got this version instead of the scarab, where if I decide to like face plants, I'm actually not very favorite because if with scarab I can actually stop them from healing. But this is actually with a fast dust in the front, I actually get to open up their their front liner, pretty quickly, and therefore I can just play for the late game. Because if you guys know about Tiny Dino, Tiny Dino is a card that gets activated only after round 4. Technically, because you do 150 damage after round 4, you see. So what you like to do in this lineup is actually really kind of drag as much time as possible till you reach round 4, round 5, and where this guy actually starts to steamroll the whole entire team. Yeah, so this is actually one of my probably my favorite teams that I'm playing now. Um, yeah,
I
and
have a
if
question on this one. I've
Mhm.
seen this lineup for quite some time, and I actually saw it from DC and Gabby, your teammates as well from
Yep.
YMC. Is this something that is currently standard for YGG Elite, or is it just something that you three are actually do run?
Okay, so this does YGG elites, each of us has one of this does, yeah, because we think that this does is actually very crucial in this current meta. So this is something that um we believe we as the whole entire unit should actually have this most important unit. um so most of us actually has this reflectile, especially it being at 39 speed. Mine is not the very pay to win version yet. It's pay to win, but it's not super pay to win. Because if it's super pay to win, my maximum HP will be 57. My current HP is just 55. So I actually have a bug ears and a plant eyes, if you can see. So
Yeah.
this also proves to you guys that you do not need to be entirely pay to win like competitions. You just need it to be like at the right speed. You can lose a bit of stats, but you just need to know how to play around it. It's not always like we all say, not everybody can afford the best axes and like the most pay to win Axies. But as long as you have the correct stats but slightly lower HP, you do know how to play around it. I think the lineup will still actually work pretty fine itself.
I actually
Yeah.
saw a variant of the Reflectile. It's a plant version of it, so it probably has the slowest speed for that kind of card set. Do you think it's a really good alternative to a Reflectile, or does the damage bonus from having the same race is really big and you cannot really sacrifice that for the speed of the plant reflect?
Okay, so the plant reflectile, I played against it like maybe twice. The lowest speed it can go it was 38. So if I do not enter enough energy between the 1v1 fight, actually the plant reflectile has a higher advantage as compared to me, because there are turns that where if I enter only with 4 energy, I only can full swing him once, right? And if he enters with 4 energy, he can always full swing me consecutively, like round after round, because every round he's just going to play double Kataro, right? So his energy will always be substantially higher than me, and I'll always be substantially lower than him. But with that being said, there are very little units that are playing the plant reflectile, but it's not the end of the world. It's still playable. You just need to understand that going into the 1v1, you need to enter with a certain amount of energy, because if both of you are actually constantly swinging at each other, uh, you guys only get to swing at each other like twice before you guys die. So you just need to make sure that you have that enough energy to swing twice, or like
All
even
right.
reflect one round and like swing one round.
So, do you think this is something that you guys are probably gonna get in the future, or maybe no? It's probably really expensive right now since I think there's only a few of it that has the good stats and good parts, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, if you're going to buy a plant reflect and just buy the slowest one, right?
Yep.
It will give
Correct.
you the most advantage, I think.
Yeah, it's because mostly just people wants to be able to cycle their energy, right? Because normally the reflector will always have like 8 cards anyway. Yeah. So
Sorry for that one. Please mute your mic upon joining the channel. I think your mic is on mute. Sorry, Elmo. You can actually just disregard all the random noises. Sometimes people
yeah,
forget to mute
it's
their
okay.
mic.
No
So
worry.
yeah, you may proceed.
Yeah. So there are actually a few teams that I play like apart from this. So this is one. Lunch is one, and I'm not the best double aqua players, but it's actually something good to have in your inventory as well. So this is something that I don't oftenly play, but it's good to just have in my inventory, so that when I go for competitions, people um, do realize that I'm actually playing against like uh double aquas, you're playing against reflectile, playing against bugs, and you're playing against lunch. I even have the plant teams as well. So it's really more of like a chess game, more than like your player skill, because if actually you play into something favorite, the chances of you winning is actually a lot higher. And if you know your win conditions, it's a lot easier to play as compared to just having an unfavored team and you're constantly needing to think about what you need to do and constantly what will happen. Because if you're on a 35 to 65% game, that game cannot have any crit at all. So imagine
Yeah.
you play perfectly, but he just crits one time and everything is just over. So it's like you still have to pray that RNG is also on your side, whereby card draws come, critical don't happen, and also such of things, right? So that's also a lot of things to ask for, and we know that some days somehow it can just be a really bad day for you. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
yeah,
definitely true.
yeah. So
The
having
game is actually yeah. Sorry, go.
yeah,
Go ahead.
so having actually a lot of lineups, like you see the amount of teams that I have. I actually do not really play most of them, but I do take take them out to scrims and stuff, so that in any such case that if I see the person's inventory do not have any counters to my bugs, then I will have to play bugs, right? And then if the person does not have any counter to AAP, I will definitely play AAP as well. Yeah. So this is something more of you spreading your versatility more than being super damn good with just one comp. But I understand most players out there are scholars, so they can only like play one team and just learn from there. Just to let you guys know, I actually was forced to stick with one team for entire season 18 and off season as well. So with that, actually, I actually learned a lot in some sense that I know what my team lose to, and I know how to pinpoint what are win conditions in the game. And there are just certain games that you need to make some necessary plays because you understand your team so much, and then you know what you need to do. So I guess you being sticking to one team is just very boring, I would say. Like everybody
Yeah,
would
that's
love
true.
to have like 12 or 15 teams to play with every day, like every day I wake up 60 energy, yes, I'm going to play this team for 10 energy, play that team for 10 energy, or like at a certain point of the day you're facing a lot of like counter lineups, you can just swap it out. But I just feel like there are pro and cons when you have one team because it forces you to push your boundaries and your learning curve even more than you just having just all sorts of options to choose from and just choosing the easy way out. Yeah. So that's what I would say that is actually good.
All right. For the people who are already watching our stream or and the people on Discord, if you have any questions to our speaker, you can actually drop down your questions on the English voice text. And so far, there's no questions here on our chat. So I think Elmo, you can actually start on playing some arena games and also share probably the lineup that you think is the best one to grind with in the ladder for now, and share us to your thought process on how you actually determine your win conditions against several lineups.
Okay. So I'll probably start like one game each from each so-called lineup. So we will probably vet through the lineups through there. It's just how funny that I play this team the most and I do not have a heart shape for this team. You see,
I
like I have
see.
all the heart shapes for like the other teams, but I don't have the heart shapes for this team. Yep. So this is practically what most people are like do not want to face into when you're playing AAPs and stuff. So I believe people always call this Bono Reptile. I don't know, they call it like Noob Reptile or something. Yeah. So we will jump into some games and we will see how it goes from here.
There you go. What do you usually do, and how long is usually your queue time? So I
Uh
think you really have a long queue time
yeah,
for
it
queue.
really depends. So it also depends on the time that you're playing. Normally when you play around 9 plus, the queue time can be a bit long, and especially longer queue times, I feel there's a specific like logarithm in the game. The longer queue time, then they will match you with like more unfavorite matchups than
Hmm.
matchups.
So do you actually cancel your queuing sometimes, or you just let the fate decide for you?
I just let the fate decide for me. Like you see, take a look at this team. Like, how is this? How am I favorite? Okay, so um, if you take a look at his team, right? He has a shrimp that has juggling balls, hero's bin, and crimson water. So this guy actually needs 4 energy to function, and he has like double seriouses in the team as well. See that he has 2 serious and he has a lift bug to generate energy. So um, I would say your win condition in this team when you're playing mine is try to kill their plant without playing the Nemos in your middle line. So in some sense that you will never try to trigger the energy stolen from you. So I'm going to pass round one All right. So just to hope that he doesn't serious. So now seeing that he has not serious me at all, I do not want to let him get away with stealing my energy. So he passed round one. I know that he's on 5 energy, right? So what's most important is my reptile do not get poison here. Alright. So we need to dodge like yam on my reptile. So what I'm gonna play is Acro, Crimson Water, Revenge Arrow, Piercing Sound, Bug Splat, and Cattail. So it's okay if my front two units get poisoned. So what's the most important here is actually trying to pressure this guy to be in HP so he will start throwing cards. Alright, so if you see that once I attack, I understand that he played one yam here. Alright. And he plays a live bug. So you see we dodge one serious, right? So once we dodge one serious here, we roughly know that this guy here has only with one serious, one live, two heals, and two yams. Alright, and we see 5 cards in hand. We also know that this guy at the back, he still constantly has 2 of each because he has not played. Right, so we understand that he tried to steal 1, gain 1, and he played 2 energy on the plant. So now he's 5 this turn. So I can either take a pass this turn or I can actually decide to play Cattail and hope that he leave bug me. But I'm just gonna take a pass. Alright, so now he's on 7 energy. Alright, and he has 8 cards. So I can either decide to shield up, right? Or decide to swing this turn. But I think I'm just gonna play the Cattail and pass. Yep, I was predicting this backdoor. Like, I knew it was coming, but there isn't like much moves that I want to actually move unnecessarily because my team is on poison stacks, right? But I'm not like on fear that this guy is just gonna like no turn me or something. So I'm gonna try to make this guy probably die this turn. So I'm gonna play cards that are in my back lines. Reason being why is because I want a bit of higher shield and I want him to commit more cards. So if he's gonna commit 2 cards only here, I'm not gonna die. And this Goda is just gonna control his energy. Alright. Alright, so what I did there was to leave this guy in last 10. If you notice, right? So him being on last 10 is just really very good for me here. So he's currently on 1v3. Why I would like to leave this guy on last 10 is because I'm constantly splitting the draws in his head. So he doesn't know that like I wouldn't know how many cards that he has on this guy and how many cards he has on this guy. But if splitting the card draw means that he do not draw his entire deck on this guy. So what I'm gonna do here is actually pretty simple. I'm just gonna double bulwark and I'm just gonna pass. Yep. So I actually kind of just bought an extra turn for my team, right? You notice, and forcing him to play that two energy there. Reason why I did not play any Acros here is because he's a 55 speeder and I'm a 53 speeders. If you notice that even if I drew my Acros in the early game, I wasn't gonna use it because I'm gonna close the game out with this guy. Alright, so now I kind of want this guy to die, and I also want to speed up here. So I want speed up, and I want damage. Alright, good. So what I predicted here was him trying to kill this guy here, and he actually did it. So now, as you can see at the bottom left hand side of the screen, my card count is actually 2. So I know that I was kind of going to draw back at least 1 more damage card here. So I can just kind of just finish him off here. His max shield is actually 101 because due to the nerf of the hero's bin, uh he already played two furballs, so he probably only has one furball in hand. So he has two crimson water and two hero's bin in hand. Two crimson water, two hero's bin, one juggling ball, and one shrimp. So if you compute his maximum shield, if it's gonna play is crimson water, chitin jump. Yep. So yep.
Wow, GG. That was really some good prediction, and almost everything that you predicted actually did happen in the game, and I was
Yeah.
quite surprised. GG, GG.
Yep. So it's mostly playing against that team. You you couldn't pass too much because the moment that you decided to give them to last to round 3 or round 4, they actually have more control than you do because you'll be constantly overcommitting and you do not know how much shield he or she can put up. Then that will only result in more yam stacks on yourself. What I really like to do when I play against these teams is um let the early gamers in your team get the EM stacks. Then once they do their job, they don't make unnecessary moves anymore. Only the backliner starts to move and he starts to deal damage, and then after that you can sacrifice the backliner because he has a shrimp, right? And then hope that when the cards reshuffle and you create that win condition that time, the cards reshuffle back into your mid liner to close out the. So that was actually what I did throughout the game. If you actually take a look, yep,
Yeah, it was really kind of advanced, to be honest. But yeah, it's really a good sight to see. Actually, you were the first one, the first speaker to actually talk about it. The way on
yeah,
how you control your cards, how you control your win condition, and how you change it in midway. And yeah, you can actually start giving us for your next game, and we can actually see on the next things that you are going to do against a different lineup.
yep.
Guys, if you
So
have sorry, if you have any questions,
yeah,
please drop it down on the English voice text. So yeah, Elmo, proceed.
all right. So this is actually a Skinny Lunch team. I think it was kind of a good hype this season, but I realized that it's actually very weak to gravel end. So this is something that I actually don't really like to play. But as in, I do not like to play it. I love this team because I just hate being useless when the guy just like gravel with me and I just stare at the screen and he just like mock me and make me want to jump out the window kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
so mostly I don't really play this team much. I was playing this team a lot during off season just to have a gauge of whether lunch is really good this season or not. And there are actually two types of teams that I have. I have a Trump and I have a lunch as well. So I feel that teams are pretty much more favorite to like Aqua having the skinny lunch, right? The horn, and a reptile having the skinny lunch as well. So you want your team to really be buffy, meaty, and like really very tanky, right? So because of that, because the horn card is just a very good like if you take a look, it's a 160 card. It's a 110 and a 15 shield. So that's why you actually really want your team to be beefy. And as for the Trump teams, you actually want the opposite. You actually want the team to be fast and like it does a lot of damage. That's why Trumps are mostly on birds, mostly on a midline aqua with a sponge or even a midline mech with the Trump as well. So that's what you just really want to burst people up. But this team you can actually kind of slow down. Yeah, so we can start hopping into games, like just see how it goes.
For you, honestly, what do you think needs to be changed for the Skilly launch for it to be more competitive?
Um there are a lot of like variants of the skinny lunch teams I feel personally that might need to change. Like I personally feel like this team I do not have any bird answers if you realize. Right? The only answer that I have is actually the koi to speed up if I actually do get to go into a 2v1 in some sense. But it's not something that I would say that I like to play around. I would like to really have more options. That's why I think there's a better version whereby this now strike turns into turnip, but there are only a few in the world for that. So as you see, round one he played 2 energy and he destroyed one of my energy, right? So he's on 3 energy now, and my cards are not really like good. So actually, I would there's actually two plays here whereby I can force, but I will actually go for a pass here. Yep. So I actually dodged two cattails if you realize, right? He played 1 energy and he's on 4. All right. So what we would like to see is he is trying to play a few cards here, and I want to extract value of my plant here. So I'm gonna do this. So if he does, even if he shields up here, this will be enough damage. All right. So we will go like that. So he skipped round 3 and he's on 6 energy next turn. Yep, and he's on last 10. You see, if you realize that I actually do like to make this play here, whereby I always like to leave uh the enemy on last 10. So I just like to split the card draw as much as possible. So now if you realize he's on 6 energy, right? And he has not moved, we can go for a super risky play whereby we know that he's gonna try to kill my plant, kill the plant with this, the aqua with my plant, and then he's gonna use the reptile to damage my mid liner. Alright, so we can go with a risky play like this, and then we can pass. Okay, so if he pass here, it's fine. Alright, he's on 8 energy now. Alright, so he's on 8. Okay, he's on 8. He has 11 cards. Okay, so in order for me to win this, so I wasted 4 energy there when it was the last 10, right? So the only way for me to win here is to go faster than the middle unit. I still can kill this guy. So I'm not too worried even with 2 energy. Alright. So if you take a look here, alright, I have this card called Spiky Wing, like Buzzing Wind. So I actually will neglect the person's armor and I will do a lot of damage. So even he put up like his max shield of double acro, crimson water, and piranha, I'm pretty sure this guy will enter last 10 here. Yep. And I only take a damage card here, right? So that was what I predicted, right? So he has lots of energy. I need to keep swinging here. I can't slow down. So even if he reflects here, I just gotta go for it. Yep.
Nice.
Yep. So actually in this 1v1, I rarely win this 1v1. I actually need to have 3 energy to constantly keep swinging like this. Like I needed one more card. So if I survive this turn, the next turn I will win. But because I wasted that 4 energy there, but I still made this game pretty close even though that I made that play there. Yeah, I believe I'm just dead here. Oh no, close. Alright. Alright, no spiky wing, we lost. Yeah, yeah. So Actually, if you realize that if I have the constant energy, right, I can spiky wing and tree swing, spiky wing and tree swing. So this
Yeah.
guy, though he has like 284 shield, he doesn't really survive against the spiky wing comp. Yep. So we'll just play these two cards and we'll just see what happens. Yep. So if you actually realize that he was at he's at 200 200 HP, right? If I had oh,
Sorry, just continue. Someone forgot to turn off
yeah,
his mic.
if I had three energy there with the spiky wing, he was actually dead. Yeah, so that was really like I would say a misplay by me when I played. Uh, when I didn't play a single card at the front there. So the safer play, actually we played very well to like this part, right? Like you see, we put this guy on last stand, and then if you realize that he drew extra two extra cards on the front liner here because I put this guy on last stand. So the play here was to actually play a card here on my aqua, and then play three cards on my reptile. Then therefore I will actually secure the game even more. But seeing that he had so much energy, I was thinking that he was probably gonna move. But I guess he just was the better player and took the pass there. Yeah, because I didn't wanted to waste one energy here like that. In fact, and make this play because I wanted to double now strike him if he ever has double acro here, right? So I wanted to make sure that he always moves slower than my aqua at the back. So therefore that he still poses a threat whereby I can just buzzing wing and two cards him even though I'm on two energy. And therefore then I can start to save energy to fight this guy at the back. Yep. So that was a bit misplay on my part, but if I played one card on my aqua and three cards on my reptile, actually that would be the better play.
Yeah, but I think it's just RNG as well. If we
Yeah,
can only actually control the cards that we can get.
yeah. So he was actually he has a lot of energy, and I mean in my books if I were him I would move. So I was actually thinking more of me in the shoes of him and whether I would move. But I if you take a look at his hand, he didn't move is because he had double Nemos. Yeah, so if he actually had damage card there, he was gonna move for sure. Yep.
Yeah, I was
So
actually supposed to tell you that you can actually change career already and you can be a fortune teller with the accurate predictions that you are doing.
yeah, so actually um in the most recent times in Axie, there was something called a better mechanic that I actually wanted to learn in the game. So we actually all know that Axie itself has 24 cards, right? So
Yeah.
you draw six at the start of the game. So when one Axie starts to die, by round what will the team start to redraw the second part of the deck? So if without Cattail, normally they will start to redraw at round six. Alright? But if with Cattail, and it depends on how many times you proc the deck, he will actually start to redraw at round five. And then that's when you actually start to realize that what he can redraw and what has been played from his second deck or not. Yeah, that's a mechanic that I've been trying to learn this start of the week because I realized that I always assume that he already played two of this card and I did not take a look at the round. And I realized that oh shit, it's the deck reset round and he might have a chance that he redrew the card that was already played. I can give you an example whereby at round five this guy played double egg bomb, right? At round six he egg bombed me again, and I'm like, what? Like what happened? Like then I realized, oh yeah, that's something called deck reset right there. So that's something that is slightly more advanced, and I would say it's really something for people who want to learn further and like excel further much in the game. That's something that you actually need to learn. Like that's your next step. Yeah. So
Elmo, for you, honestly, what do you think is the best trait that a competitive player should have for Axie?
um, I would say personally as a pro player, I think number one we all agree is the mental game. Like I can't stand players whereby when they enter a game then they start like making funny noises or like start sighing.
Yeah,
Like they like, wow, why must this happen? Ayo, why must this crit happen? When people crit me, I'll be like, just like my face will just remain the same. Like I'll be just like, okay, fine, like whatever. Because what goes around comes around, right? I
yeah,
mean, if you actually lose to a crit here and you really can't do anything much, at least you know that. To me, what's more important is the time that you play Xe over time, you're making the correct play. So in the long run, if no crits and nothing happens, you are actually winning those games rather than losing those
yeah.
games. I mean, if to me you crit me in the game and you won, I'll just say congratulations to you. Like, you won
Due
because
to the
of,
crit.
yeah,
Yeah.
due to the crit. But if you're gonna play the match over 100 times, I'm gonna beat you 90 times. So I think that eventually I know that um, I'm so-called the better player and I have the upper hand. So what I feel as a mentality of a player is definitely important. And I think next things wise is I think the most important factor in XC is to pinpoint the win condition of your team. And
Yeah,
be,
I actually agree with that.
yeah, pinpointing win condition of the team, not saying that you only know a win condition against one team. You need to know that win condition against various teams. So it really takes a lot of knowledge and like experience from playing the game. Then you will know like what's going on.
Elmo, based from your tournament experience, I have to say that you have actually faced a lot of lineups, and probably most of those lineups are really unorthodox. And against unorthodox lineups, I'm actually quite interested to know how you actually determine your win condition. Do you determine it per axis, or do you determine it as a whole, in a synergy as a whole? Since from what I've known, there are different formats for tournaments, and sometimes people bring really unorthodox lineups. So what do you do with those lineups that it's the first time you see, the first time you see when you're facing it? How do you determine your win condition for that?
So if let's say it's a B out of 3 or B out of 5 and he decides to pull this lineup out, because if it's unlimited XC pool, right, there's nothing much I can do if he has like 60 XCs, right? But if it's a limited pool of like 60 of like 5 to 9 XCs, um there will be like always like a thought in my head that this guy can definitely pull out this XC. And if he does actually pull out this XC, normally I will try to craft a team that uh might think that this guy either he's probably either gonna pull out it in game one, or he's gonna pull out the unorthodox XC at the most important game that he needs, right? So it's really more of a chess match, and I believe that all XCs can be counted, and yeah, can be counted within your lineup. It might not be the best counter, but at least creates more percentage of you winning that lineup rather than just forfeiting the whole game. Yeah, so
Um,
yeah, like
Sorry,
unorthodox.
you go.
Yeah, like those. There's one I would say. I'm not sure whether you've seen it. It's the carrot, serious cactus, and shiitake plant at the back. They was very famous for in season 19. Even now at season 20, there are still some players playing it. So
Sorry, what? Carrot, serious, shiitake,
and
and strawberry.
cactus.
Ah, cactus. Okay.
Yeah, as a backliner. So it's like if you think about it, he has damage and he has heals, right? If you attack into him when he play carrot, he's always on 4 energy. And you can't store energy because you're scared that that guy has serious as well. So you're constantly swinging at him and he's constantly healing and doing damage to you. So it's really something that's something that I would say that's not much that people would see in like ladder, but it's something that you will definitely see in a tournament. It's because most of our backliners are very standard. It's either something without scarab, or it's just something with just disable to like certain mouth cards, or like even like disabling melee cards only. So he's always going to be able to heal, and he's always going to be able to apply pressure on you rather than you applying pressure on him. So um, in certain case, when you fight those kind of Axies, especially for that specific one, what I would like to say is you try to go for a double kill, or in fact like a kill whereby you can put damage into his front unit and overspill the damage to the second unit, and then constantly putting in pressure to play 4 cards and keeping his hand size smaller. So there are a lot like of like win conditions that you need to be able to foresee on the go, especially when you're playing tournaments, because nothing just like comes to your head like immediately. So it's like if you lose one game, in between the match before you play your second series, I think it's good for you to just take a look at your replay and think like what possible teams that you have in your XC pool that you brought that is able to win this lineup more than your current team that you're bringing.
Yeah, Elmo, actually, before you started playing Axie as well, you really decided that you are going to play this competitively, right? Right from the get go, you were really aiming for a competitive scene. Sorry, was YGG part of your plan, or did YGG suddenly appear to you and oh, I'll be taking this opportunity or somehow? And I'm
Okay, so
actually interested to know what are actually the perks for you for being part of the YGG Elite and the YGG Esports team. Just so are some of our viewers who might actually be interested to go full competitive and make it as a motivation or something.
all right, so I'm not okay. So when I started out season 18, to be very honest with you, I actually joined this game just based solely on because it's generating income, right? Like I all I needed to do was playing 2 3 hours on my days, and I'm earning like 40 50 USD, and I was working as a side job as well. So it was really additional income. I didn't really think of playing it competitively, but I have a competitive nature in me. I just hate losing. I absolutely hate losing. Like when I lose, I just get so fed up and I just constantly replay and play and play. I play more. So at season 18, when people saw the potential in me, having a chance to go competitive, I season 18 was a team that I was stuck with, and I didn't have like able I don't have the chance to like join competitions, right? So season 19, I actually got a team, and I told myself this is the season that I want to go competitive, and I hope that uh I didn't hope like I told myself I will make a name for myself in season 19. And I guess one of the reasons why I got into YGG of in season 20 was because in season 19 when I played a competition, I was up against DC Boy. So he's our YGG Elites captain, if you guys know. He was up 2-0, and I managed to reverse sweep him in the final. Yeah,
Shout out to
so I
DC Boy.
yeah, shout out to boy. But yeah, so I think that was something that actually brought uh notice to DC in the sense that like even at such series when I'm down 2-0, I didn't just give up. I actually put crawl my way back and actually win the whole entire competitions as well. Yeah, so being in YGG Elite, I guess I'm not very sure what I can say or what I cannot say because it within my contract and stuff. But yeah, so for what I know, I won't pour out numbers, right? So I'll just say like you do get a budget. Um, you do get a budget for getting your own teams and a specific axis that you want, like your own play style, and you do actually get a fixed salary for being part of the YGG team, elites
Is this
team.
account your account already, or are you still considered
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a squad or
yeah,
something?
this is
Ah,
this
this is
is
your
my
account already. Okay.
so if I want to send out axes or anything, I can actually do it. Yeah, so um there are more perks in a sense that you get to access the whole entire YGG's uh
Is it the
YGG's
stash, the
marketplace.
Axie stash?
Yeah, you get to access the entire XC stash. So you guys can take a look, right? So there are certain Axies that are inside the Yu-Gi-Oh games. They have 25k Axies. So there are really like some Axies that are really very unique and like low IDs that we actually take and try, right? So I can actually give your a look. So this Trump spiky wing aqua at the back line is actually only one in the world,
Mm.
and this was actually owned by YGG. Yeah, so I actually took this XC from YGG inventory to actually have some fun and like try how it works and stuff. So they actually do have a lot, and we as YGG elites do have access to this vault in a sense that we can actually get this without using our budget. Yeah.
So technically, you're like borrowing it. Is there a limit on how many you can borrow or something?
No, there's no limit. I think by far the person in YGG that borrowed the most XC from the guild vault is me.
I think that's really fun, and I really think that you love doing theory crafting. And with having 24k Axie in the palm of your hands, I think that's really gonna be fun. You get to try out a lot of things, a lot of chop suey Axies that
Yeah,
might actually work.
yeah. If you take a look like this is super chop suey, right? Like why would I have a plus here? Yeah, this is actually from YGG itself. So it's something that I'm taking to like try to pair up with Reflector, to see what's the better variants of it, seeing like which or what would be better here and there. So this is pretty much like the benefit of being in a YGG elite, and definitely participating in more competitions. Actually, if you do well, you do get incentive. So that's like pretty much the good thing about being in.
That's good to hear. So everyone who are watching right now, and you are actually being pumped up right now, go competitive, and you don't know YGG might actually pick you up, and you have this perks as well. Actually, there's a question from Nocturnal San the YGG. He is asking how to be strong like you.
To be honest, like I think like okay, so what I feel about tournaments, like in the tournament scene, you have like all the XC in the world, but if you're not like experienced in playing tournaments and not knowing how to shuffle up your deck and like make like good calls whereby you're gonna stick with this team or you're not gonna stick with this team, actually also plays a very big part in your tournaments showings. Like I think within mm, the past 3 weeks of tournaments, I played a total of 11 or like 12, and out of 12 of them I actually won 3. Yeah, I
That's
won
really
3,
good.
and I placed like some top 3, some top 8, and some top 4. So it's like I'm not boasting or I'm not like showing off here, but you also have to think about why you're being like you're constantly winning this tournaments is because you do know how to understand what is the win condition of your team. I mean, you only really start to win competition when you actually really start to pinpoint what's the win condition. Like if I give you a list of 20 axes now, if it's another person's inventory and you take a look at his inventory, would you know what straight away his floor axes are? And would you know what straight away he will be playing or constantly is playing? I mean, there are this third party website whereby it's not really third party. It's called Axie Manager, whereby you can actually stalk
Yeah,
the person's previous
yeah.
match histories, so you can see what he actually loves to play. So he might have like 40 or 50 Axies, but there are only a certain teams that he will play in the tournament. So these are all like really my tips that I can give to you guys in some sense that if you want to become a better tournament player.
So actually, it's still going to be preparation. Preparation is really key for Axie, and aside from your prediction skills, aside from how you handle things, and aside from how you handle tilt, it's really more on how you prepare from the day before the tournament, or probably a week before the tournament, right?
Yep.
And yeah, actually, while we're still on this matter, maybe we can already proceed with the the marketplace portion of the bootcamp, and maybe you can actually build a lineup that you actually wanted to run, or something that you have recently theory crafted that might actually be good.
Okay, so I'm not very sure whether you guys are like a fan of bugs, but I myself actually do like playing bugs itself. So I'm not very sure whether you guys are. Do you guys know about this Axie that is really very very popular now? The mouth cut is mosquito. He actually has a snail shell,
Oh
twin
yeah,
tail, and caterpillars.
the immortal bug.
Yes, this immortal bug. So this is really very expensive. Like now, you just take a look, right? This is so insanely expensive. But why does if you realize that why do people actually start playing this XC? Because this XC is actually a good counter, right? To plants now, right? If you think about if you face against enemy plant that has Hatsune, you have a fair amount of cards that are half range, and you have fair amount of cards of half melee, right? So you're never really getting countered by Gravel End because Gravel End only disable Snail Shell and Mosquito. Therefore, you can always play Caterpillars and Twin Tail as well. So if you realize that Caterpillar, Twin Tail, with just two energy, you actually do 500 damage on a bug on a plant dust and a reptile body. Like these two cards, if you play two of each, it does 500 damage. So I actually really like this team now, like this particular XC. But it's probably something that I might get, might because but my teammates has it, so I might just borrow to try it out whether it fits my playstyle. But if it doesn't, I'm actually pretty much more of a bursty player. Like I like to see things explode. So I'm more of the pl-
High
I like to
damage.
play more like birds, but
Yeah.
I'm more of like birds, max, reflectile, like games that doesn't really like to go to round 10. Playing this bug, there are certain games that can go round 10 or like even round 11 because you are constantly working with two energy and you just sucking the hell out of the enemy to the point that you're ready to kill him, and then you play your twin tails. So this is just really a very interesting unit that I think that is out there now. Um,
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's DC who run that one
yep,
last one,
correct.
see, right? Yeah.
Correct. DC has this. So um, there's also another version, right? But I think is a good this is a better XC when it can fight 2v1. All right. So there's another version of this, which I think is a god version of fighting 1v1s. Means if you can get this XC to 1v1, you actually win most of the time. Hold on. Yep, it will be this XC. So the one with pincer, cottontail, parasite, and snail shell. So why I would say this XC is so good is because you constantly have unlimited energy and you're constantly putting the enemy at very low cuts. So even if they have like 6, 7 energy, but they do not have the specific hand size, and especially if the XC doesn't really have zero cost, it's really very hard for you to clear off the stun when you proc the stun on the snail shell, right? So even if you have a lot of energy, you just can't do anything much, and this guy is not just not gonna take a damage, and he's just gonna constantly cycle your cards. So I guess this is like really one of the more like unique axes that are out there now, right? So this is one, and the immortal bug is another one. But if you actually take a look, most of the top MMR players are all playing like the immortal bug right now. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
I
pretty much.
actually I actually have a challenge for you, Elmo. I'm actually really interested on a lineup that actually revolves around a dusk. a DOS.
A
Ah, no,
DOS.
not a DOS. A Don.
A
So
Dawn.
maybe you can create one lineup, one specific lineup right now. You can actually do Theorycraft that you think might actually work for a Don centric lineup.
All right. So if you actually think that Dawn, okay, let me.
Guys, if you have any questions for our speaker as well, you can actually drop it down on the English voice text. Also, people on YouTube and Facebook, you can actually comment down your questions, and I'll be asking Elmo on that one later. So yeah, I'm actually just interested on how we can utilize this class. There's really no much love for the Dawn classes, and actually I had one fight before against a Dawn, and I actually did kind of underestimated it, and in the end I actually did lost. So I was actually wondering how we can make the Dawn shine, probably Theorycraft or something on whatever is available
Okay,
right
so
now on the market.
actually, if you do know that Dawn's max speed, if you goes the correct body parts, right, it's actually 57, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he actually has some kind of playability against like aquas or even units that are slightly slower. And he actually does more damage because he has a higher skill than normal birds. So what I would say that pretty much Dawn would do is actually kind of replace um, a bird at the back, but it's just not optimal because a max speed of the bird is 61,
61.
right? But yeah, so having a bird at the back is just more of like having a Dawn at the back is more of like a utility base. Like you still wants to be faster than an aqua, but just not faster than a bird. So if you want me to build a lineup, I think I'll probably build thing with like a trump, something like this, but with a zero cost, and then you go a mech in the middle.
So it's
So
like
like
technically just a BBP.
yeah, it's technically a full trump team, but with Dawn. Because I think it's just quite interesting to have a slightly skill, a high level of skill, and you do a little bit more damage than birds when comboed. So I think that's pretty much what it
Pretty much
is.
it, right?
Yeah. I've not really seen.
um,
Okay, so I know my opponentAtello. He plays Dawn, but he doesn't pull out in competition. But I think he did actually play uh one or two tourney games that used the Dawn, because I think it was like a whatever kind of game. Like he already qualified for the bigger tournament, so that one, if he wins with it, he wins with it. If he doesn't, it's just a good showing of, But he
he's
does,
just flexing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He does have a Dawn in his inventory, because I remember when I scouted him back then, he do have Dawn in his inventory, and I actually seen him played it um on one of the competitions. But it was really like a whatever game, like it doesn't really matter if he win or lose there.
All right. Yeah, actually we can go back to Axie. Maybe you can replay some of your games. I think you were actually saying a while ago that you are going to show us the match with Othello, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Hold on. Just let me take a let me find my. All right.
Let me pull out your screen first so people doesn't
All right.
see
Uh,
whatever is there. Again, guys, if you have any questions to our speaker, this is the right time. Elmo is actually really good, and I know that he can answer most of your questions. So if you have anything to ask, just drop it down in the English voice text. And yeah, let's wait for Elmo to actually pull up the matches replay for the qualifier matches. I think it was the finals match, right? The finals match.
uh, no, no. This is the semifinals. The
Ah, the
one
semi
that,
one.
yeah, it was the closest series, I guess. I played the whole tournament.
Ah, wait, this
Uh,
is the one that you were an underdog against the Hatsune.
yep, correct. So let me paste the link to you on on the DM, so I will just click it from here. It will be easier for me.
Okay.
All right. So just let me take a look.
Okay.
Yep, it's this game. So if you take, yep, can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so I'm on the right. So Othello is on the left, right? So actually through the whole tournament, I played with this plant only. I did not play with the dust because I do not want anyone with the reflectile to like steamroll my team here. So when this game actually loaded out, right? So like I told you at the start of this stream, right? Where when this game started out, people was like telling me, "Oh my god, Elmo, I don't think this is a good like matchup for you." And I say, "Yes, I know, but so what? I mean, this is my last game, right? If I lose, I lose. I just admit defeat, right? But this is gonna be a hell of a game. If you're gonna think to win this series just like that from me, I'm not gonna give it to you. So yep. So with this in my mindset, like I know, like I need to I need to create a specific win condition in this whole entire game, right? So I realized that his bird is actually a bird with all out shot, not with the hair dagger, right? So he's more susceptible to actually double scaly spoon, reflect, and die, and I can still overlay damage to his middle unit here if he actually goes to the late game, right? Because at some point he will definitely use his all out shot. So I'm not super worried, but there were some like points to play throughout the game that I needed to create that particular situation in the game here. All right. So if you take a look, so round one I got very lucky, right? I got double serious here, right? And I didn't. I mean, when you always draw double serious here, to me, you either like to me, I will go for it, right? In a tournament setting, everybody likes to take the game slightly slowly, right? They will either like you see what Othello did here was he played one cattail and one Goda, right? So if you take a look at what I do here is I want to snowball him. I want to put him at a certain part of the game that he feels very uncomfortable because I have a lot of energy. So it's like even if he wants to do a certain egg bomb play on my plant, he also have to think about whether I have enough energy to kill his bird if he does the egg bomb play. And normally people like to do egg bomb plays when I'm on 2 energy. So I'm actually creating this situation whereby I'm never on 2 energy on this game. And that's actually one of my win condition is because if he egg bombs wrongly at that turn and I decide to kill him, correct? My aqua and my reptile is actually more favorite to fight his plant and his dust rather than just fighting his bird. Because if his bird, he can actually divert 4 cards away from my reptile onto his bird, and then his plant can just double mosquito all the way, and then he will just win, right? So that's not what I really want in the game. So you can see, right? I put up the Kataro here, right? And I was thinking, should I double serious here? I was constantly clicking the cards back and forth, and I think like if I get this double serious off, I'm most probably winning the game. Right? So I denied his Goda value here if you take a look. Right? And I draw a card because I played Cattail here. Alright, so I crit him on the Kataro and a double serious here. So knowing that this guy is on 2 energy the next turn, right? He can't really play much here. So what I went to do here was I tried to no turn this dust and apply a lot of pressure. This is why I like my middle unit with the revenge arrow instead of the scarab. So because energy wasn't a problem in my hand, because I got the double serious off and I got the Kataro off, right? So I was really on very high energy. It's just that I do not have the cards in my hand to output the damage. So this beach here that overlay damage to his middle unit actually applied a lot of pressure onto him. Right. So I was definitely gonna take a pass turn here because I'm just chilling here. Right. So I felt like he might think that I was constantly gonna swing at him. I when I saw this double mosquito, I was I was very relieved in a sense that I knew that he wasn't gonna have like regain of HP the next few rounds because it's only round 3, right? He will only start to redraw this cards when it's at round 5 or round 6. So uh so my beach, if you realize just now the previous turn, my beach play actually countered his current play of round 3. Because I overlaid the damage, I pressured him to play these 2 mosquitoes. So I get a free pass here. Right? So knowing that his birds had not played any card through the whole game, right? If you actually compute the damage here of his 4 cards, I will actually enter last 10 on my aqua. Like I will definitely enter last 10 if there's no crits or no nothing. So with me entering last 10, I will do actually 150% damage when this Axie is in last 10. So what was my thinking was I'm going to overlay damage onto him when I crit on the revenge arrow. But just take a look at what happened. So if you actually take a look, right, the damage is 23. Then he crit here. So there's nothing much I can do, right?
Yep.
So there's 141 and 129. So if you take a look and you take a look at the calculator, right? You take 23 plus 129 plus 141 plus 129. I was on 422 my aqua has 402 HP, right? So 402 minus 422, I only needed 20 shield to survive. And my risky beast was at 25. So I actually would have survived without entering last 10. Right? But he critted me there, so that was really, really very bad. All right, so I think this play here actually won me the game. This next current round. So, we computed his damage, right? Uh, we computed his damage. If he plays these damage cards on me, correct? If you take out the calculator again, right? He's gonna do 119 plus 109 plus 109. I'll be 337, right? 337 minus 295 minus 50. Correct? I'll be left with 8 HP if I play the sandal here. Correct? And I was predicting that he was gonna play these 3 cards, right? Because he only has 2 energy. Right? There's no way that he draws an all-out shot here again when he just played an all-out shot here. So I know that this guy is definitely surviving if there was no critical on my plan. So what I did here was, if he played everything on his bird, means this guy here is armor. He has no shield. So this do 146, 146 plus 126. So if you take out the calculator, you do 146 plus 146 plus 126. You do 414 minus 354. Even with a single Bidens here, he's gonna be dead with 19 HP, right? So this was the play that I was gonna make, and why I played double tiny dino is because if he's gonna egg bomb here, my tiny dino will kill him, and my this steep sandal damage will hit the middle guy. So this was the scenarios that I really think about when I enter this round. There are only 2 outcomes here. It's either he's gonna let his plant die here, or he's gonna sack his bird. Then my reptile is gonna kill him, and then I'm gonna overlay damage and apply more pressure onto the plant. So you just take a look at what happened here. So this is exactly what I predicted. He died, and then the damage overlay here, right? So if you take a look at his HP now, he's at 228 and with 2 energy, right? So I know that even if he has double blood suck in his hand now, he can only suck off this guy once
Yeah.
because I'm only at 8 HP, right? And I do not have any cards on him. Right? So this is like literally the easiest pass of my life, right? Because I have 5 cards here, correct?
Yeah.
And I just need to wait for the next turn. So this turn, if you realize, I full swing and I realize that he's gonna play Hatsune here. So my tiny catapult will get disabled, right? So I'm playing my tiny catapult here. Alright, at this stage of the game, all my friends were screaming. They were saying, "You win already, you win already. There's no way that you lose." But I tell them, guys, this is not over till it's over, right? So just look at what I draw the next turn as well. I redrew tiny dinos. So it was really a match made in heaven for me to win.
Yeah.
So when I redrew this double tiny dino and double Kataru, they were all saying that I won already because the amount of shield that he put up is never gonna be enough to block this damage. So you see 146, 146, 97, 97. Yep. So this was the game that brought me to Vegas.
Wow. I actually had goosebumps on that. And you actually did sound like a Dota sound card when you said this was the easiest pass of my life.
Yeah.
And
So it
yeah,
was really
actually
a
you
hell of a
you
series.
yeah, you did really had a lot of things to consider and a lot of things to predict on that match, and you really played it really, 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 really well. So congrats. That was the last match, right? That was the fifth game
Yep.
on your
That's
BO5.
the fifth game of the BO5. Yes.
That was that's really intense. Actually, we also have another question here from one of our viewers here on Discord. This is from John Gaming. He's actually asking, what are the three things that you'd recommend to a new player or someone who have not even started player?
Uh, okay, so if you're a completely new player to XC, right? What I would say is, don't be afraid to, if you really decide to invest in the game and you decide to play, the first few days of XCs will be the toughest time of your like gaming, like so-called experience in XC. You will lose, you will do not know their understanding of fundamentals, or you do not know what does this card do, or like what does this card does at all. So what I think like the best advice I can give to new players is go and learn the fundamentals of the game first. Don't try to learn the effects of the card. Cards those can be learned online. Those websites that teach you what effect does what and what how the mechanic will work over time once you play longer and longer. What I think that is really very good for someone to actually start with is to learn to count energy. That is the most important aspects for me in the game. Like even though now in the top level of like pro player, I think counting energy and knowing how much you can play around the damage will actually make you win games. So that's definitely the first uh, fundamental that I think you need to learn. Next is just grinding out the game and like having a good feel of the game. Yeah, and I think like one of the starting teams that you can consider buying that will make you learn the most in the whole game is actually Aqua Plant. Just you can go double pure aquas and a plant first, like just a casual, just to learn out the game, feel out the game. You will pick at a certain MMR because you do not have a lot of bug beast damage. Then when you start to realize that okay, I want to take this game a little bit more seriously, maybe you can venture out from AAP and play other lineup. Why I say AAP is really very interesting and very good is because it gives you a fair amount of percentage to win most of the lineups. It just doesn't give you fair amount of a percentage of winning a certain lineup. Yes, you steamroll some other teams, but you actually do face pretty well when you're not favored in the lineup as well. Because if you do know how to pass a certain turn and you can double speed up at a certain turn, you can actually no turn the middle unit as well. So I think playing AAP will just enhance you as a player to pinpoint win conditions and pinpoint what's your weak point in your team.
Sorry, you just continue.
Yep,
There's just someone who forgot to mute.
yep. So I think that's really something that is very interesting. That I would say most of the players that are starting to play Axie should start off with AAP as well.
Wait. All right. Yeah. Thank you for answering the question. I think Odin was really satisfied with the answer. So yeah. All right, Elmo. Do you have any games to share, or do you want to wrap things up, and maybe we can proceed with the giveaway, or maybe we can watch one more replay from the tournament if you want.
All right, sure. We shall. Okay, maybe we watch the game, the games that I think game 4 was the game that I lost. Game 1. All right, so I'll show you game 1, I guess. Game 1 was the start of the series. Literally was the game that I was shaking. Like I couldn't stop shaking at all. Cause it's just really like the start is the start of the day, and like it's the first game and it's like really feeling it out. So shout out to DC Boy here. So this team was actually really played more with DC than me. I actually borrowed this team from him because I felt like he was gonna play the Reflectile. He has one. I think he and Spam and Rise only has this unit. There were only two in the world that was 39 speed. So and I know that he play AAP as well. So I wanted to play something to counter the Reflectile here. So if you take a look, I actually was playing the DC bug as well. Yep. So my team is slightly slower. I want to buy as much time as possible, and I just want to hold the entire game as long as possible if can be. So if you take a look, round one was a simple cattail and pass. So I realized that probably he will move at round two, right? Because if you think about it, he has a unit that has a lot of damage here, and he wants to draw out value from his front dust here. All right, but he did not play anything, and I hit double leaf bug into cattail here, so I actually gave him a lot of cards. So I knew that this turn I needed to brick wall because he saw my yam, and this is the turn that he's probably gonna try to kill my plant as cheaply as possible, right? So the herbivore doesn't work here because the frontliner is a dust. So it was just really more of the shield instead of more of the shield instead of more of the heal. If he's a plant there, I guess that's better, but it's like whatever, right? So I got very lucky to redrew the Yam here, right? So because of the Yam with the extra 20 armor, his cut ordering is actually a little bit off. You take a look. So what he wanted to do here was, if I only had 152 without any armor here, right? He wanted to hit me here, put me into last stand with the scarab, and use the Nemo to remove off the last stand. and then he wanted the caterpillars to hit my middle unit. So these were very good poison stacks moving into the game here. So we moved on to making the mid liner as low as possible, and he got a crit as well. So was really a bit of a yikes. I mean, I got a lot of, but the crits here on his dust didn't matter. In fact, I didn't want the crit. I wanted to have more actions, so that this poison here in the mid line will actually start to tick off on this guy.
Oh yeah.
So the crits on here were actually very scary, rather than in favor to me than him.
Shout out to Zelia, sir. He's actually watching you right now, Elmo.
Yeah. So at this point, when this bug goes into 1v1 with this reptile, right? Uh, if you do know how to play this immortal bug, you actually win this game like probably 80% of the time. So like games like this, right? So you okay? So if you take a look at my card ordering just now, I played snail shell into mosquito because I realized that he's gonna reflect. So I want to only suck back my HP at the last card, because imagine if I mosquito first, I'll reflect first. Then I would snail shell him and I'll do more damage to him. So I will actually be in a lower HP rather than higher HP here. Yep. So at this point of time, when I'm low HP, I do the order the other way around. So when I suck here, right, when I have a shield, he hits my shield first, right? Then this goes to my HP. So if you realize that my HP here is higher, but if I did it the other way around, I was going to lose more HP. So this matchup is like really sustaining to a specific point of the game where I know that I can go for the kill. So I know that he's on 4 energy, right? And I felt like he might go in on this turn because I was on 306 HP, right? So if he actually decides to 4-cut me here, I have to play enough shield here. I can't just take the risk. That's why I went for the double blood suck. And at this point of time, I was constantly counting energy, and I knew that he was on 4 energy. The moment when he played 4 energy and he doesn't go for the kill on me like this, I knew I kind of won the game already. Yep. So if you take a look, because of that small little 2 poison stacks here actually depleted his HP by a lot through the whole like 1v1 phase of the whole game. Yep. So this is like what a way to start the whole series, right? To pull out
Yeah.
uh, a team that I do not play at all. Like this is not in my inventory at all. So this was really something that was put out like via a team effort rather than just by my sole decision by myself. But it was really like me having a rough feel that looking at his match histories and stuff that he likes to play a reflectile that's like that. So the only way to outlast and outfight a reflectile is to have something that does a lot of damage and have life steal as well. So that's why I went with this lineup.
Basically, a sustained lineup that that
Yeah,
was like your bug. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Elmo, for sharing that game. And I actually did learn a lot from the two games that you shared, and also from the games that you have played a while ago. And yeah, I think we can already wrap things up. And I really want to thank you, Elmo, for being a host for tonight's YGG Axie Infinity Bootcamp. And being a host for the bootcamp means that you are going to receive YGG merch, YGG streamer
Ooh,
merch that will be sent out to you by Steffi later on, maybe. I'll link to that one. And
uh,
yeah, what do you call this? It's already the portion of our giveaway for our viewers here on Discord. So basically, you get to decide on what mechanics for the giveaway would be. It could be a quiz, it could be a bring me, it could be a comment to your page or something. Anything you like. So we're going to give away two merchandise package to our viewers. They're going to receive YGG mug, YGG cap, and YGG sling bag. So what do you think? How do we facilitate this giveaway?
all right. I mean, since we're here, why not? With okay, just head over to my Twitter page to the tweet that I tweet out. This tweet, our
The bootcamp tweet.
the bootcamp tweet, the one that I posted actually. Hold on. Yep, this one. So the one with your link as well. I'll just send it to you. So I guess
Okay.
this helps both party as well, right? It helps your channel and it helps my channel. So just head down here, just give me a follow and just drop a comment here. So whoever comment, uh, I will just plug in your name onto a random like selector, and I'll just roll the number
All right.
and
So
then
guys,
the winner.
wait, there. Steffi actually posted the status of the tweet, the link for the tweet. So all you need to do is actually do comment tweet, respond to the tweet, and Elmo would be putting your name on the giveaway raffle or or
Yep,
random number or something. Yeah.
yep, correct. So it's just a very simple thing. I mean, uh, just hope that really have helped the community more than helping myself. Really enjoy doing this thing, spreading the love and the knowledge to people that are new, or even people that are trying to be more competitive in the game itself as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you're going to be back here soon. So don't worry, you'll get another chance to share more of your knowledge and discuss further with the community. So yeah, how many minutes do we give the people to comment on your tweet?
Mm, we give probably about how about we do a 3 minutes time, so we will end at like 10:53.
All right, all right.
All right. So I mean, meanwhile, we can do some questions, or if is there anything more that you like to know about me, or would you like to?
Since you are actually a Singaporean, you live in Singapore, what's actually your favorite Singaporean food?
Oh, what's my favorite Singaporean food? I actually like things that are slightly more spicy.
Mm.
Um, I'm not very sure whether Philippines have something called laksa. It's actually
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's actually a soup based on like coconut and like spices to make the soup more spicy. So that's what I really enjoy eating. You know.
Do you like the seafood variant, the meat variant, or the fishbowl variant?
Uh, normally okay. Interesting fact. My parents used to run a laksa store in Singapore, but
Where in Singapore?
due to COVID, business was a bit bad, so it closed down. So I personally like the seafood variant more than the meat variant.
Oh no, I shouldn't have asked this, honestly. It's really late right now, and it's really hard to find a Singaporean food here in the Philippines. And all I have is an instant laksa meal.
But
All right,
it's good. I mean, if you ever come to Singapore, do let me know, right? I'll definitely bring you around.
all right, definitely, I'll be messaging you. I'll remember that. I actually used to go to Singapore most of the time. I think once a month, and yeah, I always crave
Once
for
a month.
laksa.
Oh, that's quite often actually. Like once a month, it's really.
Hold on. There's still guys. You better guys tweet Elmo right now. There's giveaway, or else you are going to give it somewhere else.
I mean, there are two-person that commented. Since I mean, if there's only 2%, then I guess it's those two that are winning, right?
Yeah. This is basically a freebie, guys. Just comment, please. If I can comment, I would actually comment. So going back to the laksa, we already talked about the laksa. Um, have you tried the Filipino laksa? The taste is actually really different.
Oh no, actually, I have not been to Philippines before. Like I've only seen like pictures that were sent via my ex-girlfriend because she went to Boracay and the food that she ate at Boracay. So there's really like not much like other things that I've really uh personally try from Philippines.
Yeah, maybe you should come here, but you're going to have a really culture shock and an environment shock if you're used to what you are used to there. Do we
I,
have a question? Sorry, go ahead.
sure, go ahead.
We have a question from Paul07. Are there other games that you're currently playing right now? You're playing, or probably just played before?
Um, Mostly I actually really spend my times in MOBA. So I actually really am pretty much a person that enjoy strategic games. Even in Mobile Legends, every season when it reset, I actually take the effort to climb to Mythic and not play. So it's just like I enjoy every form of mobile game, be it is League, be it is Heroes on New Earth, be it is Dota, be it Heroes of the Storm. Like literally, I play every single mobile that was out there, and I enjoy a lot of FPS as well. But due to my laptop and due to me being more committed to Axie now, I actually stopped playing those games. I actually only started playing like was up like maybe 2 3 days ago because I
Yeah,
needed
it
to
was
take
hype.
yeah, I needed to take a breather for Axie for a bit because I was really like I felt like I achieved something, right, so I deserve a little, it's called a little break before thing for this weekend's push, because this weekend I think I probably have like 3 or 4 competitions coming up in next, so I wanted to really take a break, reset my mindset, reset my body clock, and be more ready for the competition coming right up.
Right. So far, which of the three tournaments are you really expecting the most? And after that tournament, are you probably gonna take a break or something, or are you still gonna continue grinding and competing?
I mean, the if you actually take a look at my XC itself, I'm actually currently at 349. So I'm actually, my goal for every day is actually to probably go up in like maybe 50 to 60 mmR a day. So if that actually happens, it actually puts me up like pretty well like into the leaderboard within the next few days. So I'm giving myself like safe and like healthy targets more than giving myself unrealistic targets, because that's what I did in the previous season, whereby I win like 300 mmR in a day and then I just park my account at the MMR and do not play for a good like maybe 1 to 2 days, and then when people start catching up, then I started playing. Then that's where I fall further, and constantly need to keep catching up. So I think I'm going for a different strategy this season, whereby I play every day, but I just give myself a specific target of MMR every day. So
Yeah, that's true.
that would
Sometimes
be
when
a bad.
we get too greedy, sometimes it kicks us back, and
Yeah,
it actually becomes more of an issue than something that would help. Yeah, there was actually a question from Steffi XGF reveal. Just kidding. um, so everyone, guys, everyone on Discord, we still don't have anyone tweeting in tweet, guys. Basically, this is a freebie. So just tweet, guys. Make a Twitter account right now, and basically you win YGG merch. Guys, go! I'm begging you, guys.
yeah. I mean, it's just really free. I mean, I think this is like one of the best ways to like win a giveaway, right? I mean, so far I saw four people. There's Denzi, there's Kenny DCB, there's Elfie, and there's Paul. So there's like four people here that that's commented in the tweet.
All right, so do we raffle it up now or
All
what?
right, so I mean, okay, we give a last minute, I guess. Like
Sure thing.
we give like maybe 2:58. Like let's see who comments here.
Oh wait, they commented on the wrong tweet, so I was actually looking at the other tweet. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I posted the wrong link.
All right. Yep.
There. The one that Steph is posting. That's the link.
All right. There's one more. There's five of you guys. So there will be two winners, is it?
Yeah, and the winner will be decided with a battle royale. Just kidding. Just kidding. So, how do we determine the winner between the five
So
participants?
okay. So within the five participants, okay. So all we need to do is we just roll the dice. So how what am I roll the dice? So there's only five people, right?
Yes.
One, two. Okay, no, there's six now. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I'll just go to Google.
All right. Let me share your screen
Uh,
here.
just nice. Roll the dice. Right. So okay, hold on.
Wow, what's with the sudden influx of people and the English voice?
All right. So hold on. Let me take a look. Number generator. Okay. So let me check the tweet one more time. Like let's see whether is there any new comments or not.
All right.
If there's any new comments, then we'll just do it. I mean, I hope those guys don't mind, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
those
True,
that
guys.
commented earlier. All right. So now there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So that's eight, right? All right. So I'll be closing it out now. We're gonna draw the winners now. All right. So one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. All right. So we just roll the number one to nine twice.
Okay.
All right. So ready? Three, two.
Do
All right. Number five. So one, two, three, four, five. All right. Volch from YGG.
Bro from YGG.
All right. So he's the first winner. All right. All right.
I'll be
So
messaging you for the link for the giveaway later on. All
all right.
right.
So I'll generate again. Three, two, one, and go. All right. Number eight. So five, six, seven, eight. Hindsight one. Yep. So congratulations to both of you.
Who actually won the other one? What's the name? Sorry.
Uh,
Heinzen.
yeah, Hindsight.
What's your Discord? Oh, okay. Okay, enough for now. Okay.
It's me.
It's me.
It's me.
All right. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for joining our Axie Infinity Bootcamp. I hope you guys did learn a lot because I really did learn a lot, and I hope Elmo that you will be back anytime soon for our YGG Bootcamp. So yeah, I think that's it. I think we can already close our YGG Bootcamp, and yeah, see you guys again on the next one, guys. See you guys on Monday for our Axie Infinity Bootcamp. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.